You're not wrong, Robbie. Thanks for. Yeah, do it. Okay, cool. Robbie's very enthusiastic.
That's true.
Yes, very cool. Is this the first time you've ever been on TV? You strike me as someone that would take any opportunity.
Actually,
to find a
this
camera.
is the first time I've been on TV.
Really?
So, shouts out Dunkin' Donuts.
We'll
Yeah,
have
they
to
make
blur
good
that.
coffee.
Thanks.
Oh wait, okay, hold on. Restart. Restart.
All right. How is this interview going so far?
It's going well. It's just kind of started, but it's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's picking up.
Constructive criticism is welcome.
What? I mean, there's not much to it, so.
Okay.
Gotta add more oomph to it.
Not much to it. Not much to it.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have a unique rating system. I'm trying to get better at these interviews here.
Okay.
So, midway through, I kind of check to see how I'm doing. How would you rate this interview on a scale of tonight's the night to Pitt tonight? Are you familiar with Pitt tonight?
No, I'm not either.
It's sort of like this show,
But worse?
but better.
Or better?
But far better. Yeah.
Or better?
Do you go to UCF, or are you just wandering around looking for cameras?
No, I go to UCF.
You do, okay. And what's your major?
Business marketing.
Okay, you had to think for a second, like, oh, what is it? What was it?
No, it's just
You sure?
business. It's, yeah.
Business?
I'm
Okay,
a
cool.
businessman. I'm gonna be a
You strike me
businessman.
as a good businessman. You look like you seem like you could sell things.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, like Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we still need to get some laughter.
2, 1.
Coming up on UCF Nightly News, see how UCF is dealing with a flu season that's making more people sick than usual.
Plus, it's Black History Month. See how UCF students define what being black means to them.
And see why statistics say human trafficking may spike this weekend due to the Super Bowl.
Nightly News starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Khalil Maycock.
And I'm Alexandrea Bozarjian. Today is Friday, February 2nd, 2018.
It's a case of freedom of speech versus freedom of religion.
A Twitter battle erupted overnight about a Muslim student event on UCF's campus.
Nightly News reporter Sophia McCready's joins us in the studio with details on the controversy.
Sophia, we're talking about thousands of tweets.
That's right, Khalil and Alex. It started Thursday afternoon when an on-campus event turned into a battle of opinions on social media. On February 1st, 140 countries worldwide asked people of all religions to wear a hijab in support of Muslim women. The UCF Muslim Student Association celebrated World Hijab Day outside of the student union. A hijab is a veil some women wear that covers the head, neck, and chest. The historian of the Muslim Student Association, Malia Ava, says why she feels it's important for UCF students to experience the hijab.
It's like bringing the community together. That's why we do these events, so that like everyone in the community can come together and like understand.
The organizers of World Hijab Day asked women to post a photo on social media with the hashtag #IStandForHijab, but not all in attendance were for it. A blogger, Kathy Zhu, took to Twitter to express her opinion about the event, which quickly went viral. Kathy posted tweets like this one, saying that the hijab oppresses women under Islam. Ryan Sokari, who is a well-known Instagram blogger with over 100,000 followers, responded back, calling for Kathy to be expelled. The battle of opinion generated thousands of tweets and retweets within hours. We contacted the Office for Student Conduct and will keep you updated on this story. I'm Sophia McCready's. Back to you, Alex and Khalil.
Thanks, Sophia. February kicks off Black History Month, and UCF organizations held an opening ceremony. The theme of the ceremony was Black is fill in the blank. I spoke to some UCF students and the keynote speaker to ask what this phrase means to them.
Black is beautiful.
Black is unique.
Black is to walk in one's skin without apology.
UCF's Black community celebrates the beginning of Black History Month with the phrase, Black is. A ceremony emphasizing Black having no clear definition was held, but the meaning behind the word Black being shaped by oneself. Being one of a few Blacks at one of her schools growing up, it took Jada Potts years to find her definition of what Black is.
I remember I went through this phase where I was either too Black or not Black enough.
Jonathan Cox was the keynote speaker and is an associate professor of sociology. He says the main factor in defining your Black depends on life experiences.
Reality of their social experiences, right? And so if they were raised by people who identify strongly as Black, around communities with other people that are considered Black, right? So they have experiences with other folks that are Black, they're more likely to then identify as Black.
Identifying as Black can be broad. Ruth Estimable is a Haitian American who thinks Blacks from all cultures need to support each other.
We're kind of like one big, I don't know, salad. Like we need each other to be together, but we're all very different.
Potts says the difference helped her become involved in many different organizations and aware of herself.
I became aware of my own Black beauty, and I was proud to walk in my own skin.
Skin, which is not defined by its color. Reporting in Orlando, Khalil Maycock, UCF Nightly News. The Multicultural Student Center will be hosting several events throughout the month to celebrate Black history. To find out specific dates and times, head to events.ucf.edu.
The flu is still at UCF. UCF faculty got an email from the Faculty Center for Teaching and Learning this week about how they should teach with so many students out sick. The Center for Disease Control website says the peak of flu season can be any time between November and March. Dr. Virgil Dawson works at UCF Health, a College of Medicine clinic. He says the peak of flu season could be just beginning.
We've been seeing some flu cases since early November, but the number of flu cases we've seen in our clinic has increased significantly over the past 2 to 3 weeks.
Dawson says UCF Health had to order more cases of flu vaccines in past years. They've usually stopped now. Both he and the UCF Student Health Services website recommend getting a flu shot. Students can get them for free at the health center. Researchers at the University of Central Florida partnered with seniors to see how eating a meal together can help improve the lives of the elderly. Reporter Carla Rodriguez tells us what they found and what this could mean for seniors.
The nonprofit Seniors First offers a lunch program to seniors in Orange County. Dr. Sui Hao led a UCF research team to gather data and shares what they found.
They're significantly increasing their social engagement and also getting the nutrition that they need. And the qualitative comments provide us suggestions and comments on how we can better improve the program.
The program serves more than 93,000 meals at 14 lunch sites each year. UCF's research states that healthy and social seniors live independently longer. CEO of Seniors First, Marcia Lorenz, says the new data shows another fact that came as a surprise.
What the difference is in the research that was kind of eye-opening is that 42% of the clients drive themselves.
The U.S. Census Bureau states that Florida has more seniors living here than any other state. More room for transportation means more room for the rest of the 5.2 million seniors living in Florida. For senior Robert Cumby, it's more than simply sharing a meal.
It's not really the food, it's to get together and get out of the house and have a place to go every day. That means a lot to a lot of us.
Reporting from Orlando, Carla Rodriguez, UCF Nightly News.
CEO Marcia Lorenz says the findings will help with future grant applications and to make program improvements.
SGA is partnering with Lyft to provide safe transportation for nights. On Fridays and Saturdays, students can give $5 off per ride between the times of 8 p.m. and 3 a.m. Students can download the Lyft app and link it to their Knight's email address for this deal. The rides eligible for this discount must take place in the UCF Ride Zone. SGA's Chief of Staff explains why he puts this deal into motion.
for some reason, they don't feel comfortable in walking home or etc. because there have been some accidents here around campus, they can take a Lyft home and they can know that it's a discounted rate. It's to ensure their safety.
Services are almost identical to Uber. Lyft administrators told him the program is going successfully, and Kuehler hopes it continues to go well.
Super Bowl Sunday is coming up. Fans expect big budget TV ads and some friendly competition, but what they may not expect is an increase in human trafficking. Some experts say human trafficking cases go up during big events like this. Nightly News talked to a survivor and says we should always keep it on our radar.
This was a big deal for me, getting my art back.
Lisa Johnson shares her heart through her work. She manages a thrift store that helps victims of human trafficking. But it wasn't always that way for Lisa.
And my aunt was giving me to him. And she was getting drugs in return. I didn't know that.
Lisa was a modern-day slave. Survivors like her shared their stories at Orlando's 10th annual human trafficking event. That was the reaction after Savannah Parview shared hers. Her story is a little different than Lisa's, but their message is the same. A message of hope in life after trafficking. The I-4 corridor connects the tourist cities of Orlando to Tampa and makes it quick to travel between the two. But so many transient people and big attractions also makes it one of the hottest spots in the country for human trafficking. Lynn Huff Corzine and Jay Corzine lead their own crime lab on the UCF campus. For the past 3 years, they've worked with law enforcement and agencies like Florida Abolitionists to collect data on human trafficking. Huff Corzine and her team are trying to figure out what makes our region so vulnerable.
Florida is number 3 in terms of the phone calls that come in. And, being third to Texas and California, could be our tourism.
Lisa's pimp was arrested on September 18, 2014, and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. He is set to be released in 2019. Despite that, Lisa wants to get across one message.
So there's more to it than just prostitution, and that's what I want to bring awareness to.
She hopes her story will paint a more realistic picture of human trafficking. Reporting in Orlando, Alexandrea Bozarjian, UCF Nightly News.
Looked like
Experts say human trafficking can take on many forms, from prostitution to forced labor. Lisa told me she was held against her will and forced to watch beatings. Police say if you witness any suspicious activity, to report it to the human trafficking hotline.
Coming up after the break.
A look at how UCF student is using his experience to help others with their mental health.
Plus, see what else students can do to stand out to employers.
A new support group for people affected by suicide is making its way to Orlando, and the project is being led by one UCF student. Reporter Christina Diaz talked with those who are taking matters into their own hands.
Student who works at the Mental Health Association of Central Florida.
Everyone has baggage. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Everyone has it. And for me, when I finally decided to talk about it, just letting it out is just like a big gasp of air.
A breath of fresh air one of his coworkers felt after getting through her suicide attempt.
What really got me through was just having one thing every week to look forward to. And you just find that one thing.
Now, they are using their experiences to help others.
At the end of it all, I always said to myself when I was in this position that if I can help at least one kid, that I know I'm doing something right.
And that's exactly what he's done. He keeps a thank you note right on his desk from someone he's helped along the way.
Suicide doesn't need to be pushed in a corner anymore. It's affecting people. We see the statistics it's affecting people, so it needs to be talked about.
In a new support group he's starting this month, UCF counselor Teresa Michelson-Chemalier hopes we can start talking about mental health.
And to decrease the stigma, to decrease the shame, to talk about it as openly and casually as catching a cold.
A dream Welling shares.
There might be a new obstacle that I've never encountered before. I know I'll get through it one way or another.
With support from the community. Reporting in Orlando, Christina Diaz, UCF Nightly News.
The first support group will take place on February 7th for people who have been affected by survivors of suicide. And on February 21st, a support group will be held for those experiencing suicidal ideation. For more information, visit mhacf.org.
For the safety of the UCF community, there are multiple resources available for students. Over the past 2 months, there's been 3 incidents of harassment on campus. Over 250 blue light emergency phones are on campus. Once you press the button, it calls 911 and a dispatch location knows where you are immediately. SEPS is a safe escort patrol service run by UCF PD. Employees use golf carts or walk with students who feel unsafe after dark on campus. UCF PD is also hosting female self-defense classes. The next class will be held today at 2 p.m. UCF PD urges students to remain alert and to speak up if they see anything. Graduation is around the corner and the process of securing a job can be stressful. And not understanding why you can't secure a job is even worse. Having a high GPA and an internship may seem like what employers want, but Nightly News reporter Jane Kim tells us they may not be the case anymore.
Dear applicant, thank you for your interest in our company. At this time, we have no openings. However, I will keep your letter on file should an appropriate job become available. Students say this response looks very familiar when applying for jobs related to their major. College graduate Carlos Jones says he faces the same problem when applying for jobs.
Well, hey, we can't hire you because you don't have enough experience. Well, you can't get experience till you get hired.
Students say it feels like having a high GPA and internship just isn't enough these days, and that employers want more. UCF alum and CEO of Party Tutor, Brent Henderson, gives advice on what employers, like himself, look for when hiring.
So what are students doing outside of the normal structure of getting an internship or going to a job fair?
One tip Henderson gives is to build connections that are on a personal level.
Reaching out to people in those fields, to companies that they respect, and trying to build the connections on their own, even outside of a formal interview or a formal job application.
Director of Career Development at UCF, Dr. Bill Blank, agrees that just dropping off an application to an employer isn't enough.
It's that student-recruiter connection that is really going to be their ticket into the front door.
And these connections allow students to better their chances of meeting the right employer.
It's who you know, but in reality, it's who knows you.
And how that person sees you. Reporting from Orlando, Jane Kim, Nightly News.
Next Tuesday, UCF is hosting the 2018 Career Expo, giving students a chance to make connections with over 200 employers. It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the CFE Arena. Professional attire is required. Coming up after the break.
Carla will tell us what the weather is going to look like for the Super Bowl weekend.
Happy Groundhog's Day. Carla, can you tell us what we can expect for the next few days?
That's right, Khalil. Our results are in. Looks like we can expect 6 more weeks of winter because Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow. Looks like we're starting our Groundhog Day with partly cloudy skies. Let's take a look at what our neighbors are seeing across the state. For our highs, Tallahassee 63, Jacksonville 63 as well. Our neighbors in Tampa are experiencing a high of 73. Down south in Miami, 77, and at home at Orlando, 74. And now for our lows, it will be pretty chilly this evening, so be sure to grab your sweaters. We'll have a low of 36 degrees in our capital, Jacksonville 44, Tampa 52, again down south in Miami 64, and in Orlando 50. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Our Saturday starts with a high of 68 and a low of 56 with a 20% chance of rain. To kick off our Sunday night football, there will be a high of 80 and a low of 62. We might have to bring those Super Bowl parties indoors because we have a 60% chance of rain. Monday we'll have a slight chance of showers, but to end our day, mostly clear with a high of 72 and a low of 54. Tuesday we'll have a high of 77 and a low of 62 degrees with no chance of rain. And on Wednesday, expect partly sunny skies with a high near 80 and a low near 61 with a 20% chance of rain. That's all I have for your weather update today. Back to you, Alex and Khalil.
Thank you, Carla. Coming up after the break, see how the UCF men's basketball team is preparing for their game against Houston on Saturday.
Plus, hear from the UCF basketball head coach on why the new baseball stadium will benefit the program.
Good afternoon, Knights. I'm Amanda with your sports today. After beating UConn 70-61 on Wednesday, the UCF men's basketball team is ready to take on Houston this weekend. BJ Taylor led the Knights' first win against UConn, shooting 70% from the field and putting up 20 points. Dayon Griffin contributed 12 points and Chad Brown chipped in 10. Griffin and Brown are stepping up in the paint for Taco Fall, who will be out for the rest of the season. It will be a quick turnaround for the Knights, playing the Houston Cougars tomorrow at home. Head coach Johnny Dawkins says he's looking forward to the team and the community coming together to represent their hometown, Orlando.
Well, I think it's important for us to guard our home court. You know, I think whenever you're trying to build a great tradition and trying to, establish a certain culture, with the program, I think it starts at home first.
Season, including Houston, who is 6-3 in conference play. Taylor says the Knights need to be locked in for every game because they need every win. The home game will tip off tomorrow at noon and will be televised on ESPNU. With the baseball season opener right around the corner, renovations to the stadium are almost finished. What was once Jay Bregman Field is being transformed into John Euliano Park. The majority of the donations are from Euliano, a friend of UCF Athletics. The $3.6 million project will feature home plate club seats, complete with air conditioning, food and beverage service, and private restrooms. Head coach Greg Lovelady says the new stadium will attract more fans and new recruits.
Close the gap between us and most of the schools in our conference in terms of facilities. Also provides a better fan experience. I mean, just obviously the suites and just premium seating.
The structure will be finished in time for the Knights to host Virginia on February 16th. The premium seating and the press box will be completed by early March. That's all we have for sports today. Back to you, Alex and Khalil.
That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up during the week on our website, nightlynews.com.ucf.edu.
And if you got a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at nightlynews@ucf.edu. Thanks for watching and have a great day.